Daily Sports Station.
Hey, Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next, exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Yesterday, I hit you with my thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, but that's only because the Mike Tomlin news had not yet dropped. And Steeler fan, y'all got what most of you wanted, Tomlin to quit. Look, I'm not here to bury Mike Tomlin, but the fact is this absolutely is the right move for Tomlin and for the Steelers because you know they weren't going to fire him, so he did the right thing and he fired himself. All good things come to an end, and in the end, this wasn't even that good of a thing. Tomlin had lost his last 7 playoff games. He hadn't won one since 2016. He would be the first to tell you the standard is the standard. Well, going a decade without winning a single playoff game is not meeting the standard. Not there, it's not. Besides, the writing was on the wall when Steeler fans started booing Renegade. And it wasn't because that song and that band are whack, because they are. It's because they had all had enough of Tomlin. Time for a hard reset, y'all. I'm Jim Rome. Trying something new or making player picks for the first time can be hard, but on Prize Picks, it always feels good to be right. Start the new year right with Prize Picks. Just pick 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and submit your lineup to play. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROME, and get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Well, hey there. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Thursday to you here on Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland, rocking and rolling with you. Max Power producing. We've got lots of ways to get in touch with the program. 869-1240 is one of them. Good old-fashioned way. You can give us a call. Max will take those on our KFH hotline. You've also got us on 12 News Connected. We appreciate you watching the live stream there. Facebook, YouTube, X, all available for you as well to leave your video comments, or the Odyssey app if you're moving around and you can just listen if you are, or if you're listening to us in podcast form, you can leave your commentary. Click the little microphone button right there and leave us a voice message. We got a couple things coming up for you here on the show today. K-State, bold choice there, TJ, on the video stream. K-State can't get its first win in Big 12 play. Now out to an 0-4 start in conference play. And they don't have a win over anybody since last year, December 28th. But they fall last night 82-73. We'll have Tim Fitzgerald in, our K-State Insider. He's going to join us next hour. A little later this hour, Wichita State Athletic Director Kevin Saul will stop by. They are in Florida getting ready for FAU tonight. Shocker basketball, of course, heard over on KEYN. So we got a couple of guests for you. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, celebrating America's 250th and WBC's 15th birthdays with $2.50 flagship pints on the 15th day of every month. That's today. $2.50 flagship pints today at WBC East, West, and Historic Delano. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here for 15 years. TJ, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I thought we were going to read the other WBC copy that we usually start the show with, and I was going to react to K-State the same way I reacted to KU and say, Bach, yeah, Bach, no. They lost again. No, Bach, no. As referring to the sweatshirt that you're wearing to, our friend Mason Voth said it best last week of K-State Online. He's an alum, I'm not. But he said that he feels like a player in the 80s right now on the football team of wondering, can he wear a K-State shirt when he goes to Target with the family? And he decided to, and he put the SpongeBob video of saying, I'm ugly and I'm proud. But, man, they're ugly right now.
Yeah, they don't look good. They don't look good. They don't look like anything, quite frankly. I don't even know. Like, there were times this year where we thought this team had a real chance to make some noise. Through the first 5, 6, 7 games, it was like, okay, like this team's got some juice offensively. Like they look like they're going to be there. Look like they can at least be a tournament contender. I don't know what you hang your hat on now. Like I really don't. I don't know what's supposed to inspire the optimism for this team to be able to get there. Out to an 0-4 start. 2 of the games are Arizona State and UCF. They'll have Oklahoma State and Utah. I mean, I guess if you win those 2 and go to Morgantown and beat West Virginia and take 3 of the next 4, Kansas is the 4th, you feel a little better. But we're running out of a time for a program that's going to be bubble at best to get enough big wins. They're going to have to. They're basically going to have to. They're going to have to change significantly. It's not like a tweak. It's not like anything. Like they've got to be a totally different team if they're going to get there.
I mean, we are. I don't want to say eliminated because it's the Big 12, and if you win a lot of games, you can find a way in. But I mean, we saw this team kind of do the same song and dance last year, where they ended up winning 7 games in a row against teams they had no business beating, and that wasn't good. And that wasn't good enough last year to get in. And, it's maybe a worse resume at this point than it was last year. On the road at Oklahoma State is, I keep bringing this up. KenPom, this is fun because not to, throw KenPom a bunch of free advertising here, but this is a fun exercise. They have them slated to go 5-13 in the conference. Do you think that's true? Let's look at the wins. Utah.
Do you think I can? Are you asking me if I think they can win 5 Big 12 games?
Yes, these are the games that KenPom thinks that they're going to win. And callers call in, comment. Let me know what you think about these wins. Utah at home, Cincinnati at home, West Virginia at home. Well, it's only 3. Where's the other 2? They only have 3 actual wins. I come and select them to go 5-13. Never mind, 3 wins, I guess.
Well, I want this to be overreaction time here. It's what I truly want us to be overreacting right now. That's what I would hope for. But I think we're appropriately reacting. Like, I just don't see it. I'm not like there's nothing we're seeing that's like, oh, okay, they're gonna get this thing together. I don't see it. I can't find it.
I agree. I'm sure we'll get more into this. Jacob, did you see the news last night? I had a feeling you did not. John Harbaugh's going to the Giants.
I didn't see it. No, when did
I knew it. I knew you didn't see it.
What time did it happen?
Like midnight.
Well, yeah. No, I didn't see it. I wasn't in bed.
You don't get a push notification? You're not on that type of thing?
Push notification at midnight?
Next morning? You don't glance at the phone while you're getting...
I did glance at the headlines. I glance at the headlines every morning.
Schefter said they are finalizing the contract.
No, yeah, it's right there. First story. So here's another. I had to shower before the show. I've got to go straight to a big meeting and then straight to TV after that. That also threw off my routine game. So maybe that has something to do with it.
I love knowing that if something happens after 10:30 at night, then I got breaking news to break to Jacob in the mornings.
I was up till 11 last night trying to finish. We finally hammered out the finale of Stranger Things. Finally got through the ending. I didn't really like this season. I'll be perfectly honest. It was a battle to get through it, just to get through it. Like we got to get through it so we can move on to the next thing. I didn't think it was very good. It was fine. It was fine. Did you watch Stranger Things?
I can't do it. I watched the first 2 seasons and I had to stop. I couldn't do it.
First season was incredible. Second season was pretty fun, and then it just never could recapture.
It's just I couldn't get into because we talk about this all the time. Everybody sells you on the idea of this fun nostalgic show, and then the other half of it. Well, yeah, I know that too. But the other part of it is that, like, man, this is a horror film every episode. I'm not watching this crap. No way.
Yeah, I don't like horror, which was the big thing. Like, there were definitely parts of that show where I like got my eyes closed. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and
Like,
I'm not
casually
afraid
watching
to.
this.
I'm not afraid to admit this. Where I'm like, hey, honey, why don't you tell me when this part's over, and I'll open.
I talk about that all the time. We're big, we work in TV. We're big TV and movie snobs at work and talk about that a lot. And I tell people, like, man, if I'm going to waste my time watching something, I want to watch something that's going to make me happy. All right.
Yep, I agree. It's so funny you say that. I despise every rom-com has like the sad part or the middle, the part in the middle where everything's going wrong. Like, it physically makes me uncomfortable. So it's always done that. And I've always thought that was interesting. My 6-year-old son, when we're watching something and it gets to that part, like, he'll get up and leave. Like, he'll just leave the movie. Like, he'll go start throwing a football or something in the other room. And we're like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, nothing. But I've noticed, like, it's what he's doing. Like, he's leaving at the confrontational part of the movie, and then he'll make his way back when it's all happy again. And I'm like, man, that's awesome.
I'm gonna start throwing a football around.
Yeah, just be like, all right, I'm gonna check out for a minute here.
Hey, babe, I'm gonna go throw the pigskin. Call me back when it's ready.
Why don't you let me know when the happy montage starts back up, and we'll be back. And
when they kiss in the snow. When they kiss in the snow at the Christmas tree farm is when I come back in.
Yeah, I picture you as a big rom-com guy.
Oh man, don't get me started.
All right, we'll come back. Let's dig in a little bit. Harbaugh to the Giants, huh? We've got Tim Fitzgerald coming up on the show. Kevin Saul coming up on the show. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on the Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
On KFH.
Welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. High school sports coverage on Sports Daily, brought to you by Zentex Remodeling Group. Remodel your bathroom in as little as 1 day with Zentex Remodeling Group, ZINTEX.com. You got the scoreboard show coming up Friday night here on KFH. TJ and crew getting you ready for a Catch a Kansas week, as well as the high school basketball season is headed, right into the good part. Are we into district play yet there, TJ?
I think district. No, it's not even a thing in high school basketball. They just play them whenever they play them.
Okay, all right. I think
We're almost into midweek or mid-season tournament mode, which is chaos. For local TV stations.
It's been a bit of a change since I've been heavily involved in, but that's good. I like the mid-season tournaments. I do. But the high school basketball season rock and rolls on, and it's that time of year. It's college basketball season 2. We'll get more into K-State a little bit later. Kevin Saul joins us later this hour from Florida as we look at the Shockers tonight. Take a look at that season. Some interesting changes across the college sports landscape, to discuss as well. We haven't chatted with Kevin in a while, so looking forward to that. But the news overnight, as I apparently did not see at midnight, is that the Giants land John Harbaugh. And, the more that combination has been floated out, the more that combination makes a lot of sense to me. They've kind of tried, they've tried for 10 years to replace Tom Coughlin. And Tom Coughlin was a guy who came in after having a lot of success somewhere else, right? In Jacksonville initially. So I think stylistically, just for that reason, this makes sense. I think bringing Harbaugh in, they hit on Scatabo. They hit on Malik Neighbors. Jury's out on Jackson Dart still a little bit. They just drafted Abdul Carter. They're about to have another high draft pick. There's a lot to work with there in New York. Of all the jobs that are open, it probably had the best collection of things to aid a quick turnaround. So going to get the coach who's had the most success makes a ton of sense. I think it's a really good hire and a good fit for Harbaugh, too, a good pick for him to pick his spot. Yeah,
it felt like this was probably the most, predictable, I guess, since once he got fired of the current openings. Is just kind of like, you could make an argument about the Steelers once that one came open, but I don't think that was going to happen. but of the teams that are, in the rebuild mode, the Giants have already climbed up a large margin of the runway. They're still on the rebuild, but they've done some of the groundwork already, as you're saying. And I think that they have the most amount of young pieces that, are something and not, just filling the holes that are in the past of everything. Like, he kind of just hops in of something that was already kind of ascending slowly, and maybe that's what they need to. And I don't know if they're going to be good next year. I won't go. I don't think I want to say that, but they could. It's not out of the question that they could be good. They beat good teams this year.
I bet they would be. You got to remember they lost Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatabo and Jackson Dart all to injury this year. They've got some young pieces defensively that make sense. They really like, and I don't recall how good or bad their offensive line is. It's kind of hard to get a gauge of that with Jackson Dart because he runs around and does all the different things. But they feel like if those guys develop, I mean, you're just a few defensive players away from being pretty good. And it's an organization that gave Brian Daboll a lot of time. They didn't give Daboll's predecessors a lot of time. Daboll kind of rode the momentum of that. What did he win? 9 games in his first season. Then they won the playoff game. And then, I mean, Daboll was 20-40. Like, NFL coaches never get that long of a leash. 20-40? Like, that's bad. And he was still there. So we'll see if Harbaugh can. And here's the other part that makes some sense. And John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, maybe there was like a slight rift, not like in a traditional sense, but one thing John Harbaugh has seen firsthand, however much he had to do with it, is teaching Lamar Jackson to best use his abilities, but still be able to stay on the field, right? Jackson Dart is going to get annihilated out there if he keeps playing the style he played with as a rookie. So how do you utilize those skills and keep yourself on the field? He's got experience with that with Lamar Jackson. So there's a lot of reasons it makes sense. It was the most logical connection of this offseason thus far. In fact, it's probably the only one where we're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like that one makes a lot of sense. Is that now everything else is kind of up in the air. I don't know that there is another one where it maybe Stefanski Ravens, maybe.
Yeah, as I said, that'd be the only one that I feel like may be minus odds, but it's not more than minus 200 or something like that. It still wouldn't shock me if they went another way. The rest of them, I have no idea though. Like, who are the Browns going to hire? Like, who are the Titans going to hire?
Guys we haven't heard of for the most part. I mean, does Nagy get one of these jobs? But
I think
look,
so.
and
if there was ever a year for Nagy to reignite himself into the coaching conversation, the year that there's 9 vacancies is a good time to do it.
Yeah, the NFL's trendy. We know that they like to go do things. You've got an interesting mix of coaches in the postseason right now. You've got the retreads, right, of Sean Payton and Mike Vrabel. You have the stability of Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. And I think you could say stability at this point, probably for the Texans. And then you've got, and Sean McDermott. Man, the Bills are just sitting there, aren't they? They're just sitting there. And then you have the upstarts, Ben Johnson and McDonald in Seattle. So there isn't like some obvious trend that's been developing. So my guess is we get a pretty steady mix of things. A couple teams are going to hire retreads. A couple teams are going to hire guys we haven't really heard of yet because they've been coordinators or are really young. I think it's all on the table. I don't think like there was that offseason where like all of McVay's former assistants and water boys got hired as NFL head. I don't think we're going to see anything like that this offseason. I think it'll be a nice mix.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's going to be interesting of, where it's all going to pan out and everything. It's going to be an interesting. This was a really interesting NFL year in 2025. I think it's going to be a very interesting NFL year in 2026 as well. I think that a lot of this goes into that, and obviously the fact of contenders that didn't contend in 2025 getting a different leadership change is going to make that even more interesting of where they go.
Is everybody jumping the gun here? Is everybody stalling? Is McDermott safe if Buffalo loses to the Broncos?
In Buffalo?
Yeah. Is he safe? Is his job safe?
Probably
His
not.
job's been rumored. He's been in a little hot water for a
If
few
they
years
win,
now.
if they win then lose, then he's fine. If they lose to the Broncos, I don't think he's fine.
So I mean that we talk about trends and these things. The trend right now, Harbaugh's gone, Tomlin's gone. Does Buffalo see that and feel the pressure to say we got to try something else? Because if that happens, now that's the top job, and now Harbaugh's probably like, "Damn it, jumped the gun, shouldn't have done that." Because I mean, who's not going to Buffalo? I mean, it's everybody's first choice at that point because you have Josh Allen.
I don't know, man. I don't know if you will, if they will or not. I mean, they were in the AFC Championship game last year, and
I don't think they should.
I don't think they should either. But
what did Andy Reid do those final years? Let me pull it up. Let me see what he did, because it is hard. It'd be the equivalent of Pittsburgh, right? That's what it would be if they did this, because they're in the playoffs every year. Now, Pittsburgh didn't advance ever in the playoffs, but Baltimore maybe is the best example. Baltimore hadn't won very many playoff games, oddly, over the years, even though they've had some of the best regular seasons. So Andy Reid, it took Andy Reid a 4-12 season that last year in Philadelphia. It was only 2 years removed from making the playoffs. So it'd be even bolder than something like that. I don't think they should. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Like, I think that'd be a silly thing for them to do. But would they? It'd be a lot of pressure.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's not a secret that Buffalo is good because of Josh Allen. Like, Buffalo isn't good because of Sean McDermott. They're good because of Josh Allen. And he makes everybody around him look better. I don't think that they will. I mean, has there ever been a coach that's been fired a year removed from an AFC Championship game? I mean, in recent history, I mean, it feels like something's happened like that, but I can't remember.
It's interesting that you say they're good not because of McDermott. McDermott made the playoffs his first year without Josh Allen.
I mean, he's not bad, but he's not the reason that they're good.
Allen didn't get good until 2020. He wasn't good in his rookie year of 2018. The Bills missed the postseason that year. They made it the year before without him. Then in 2019, he still wasn't that good. He was better. You could start to see it, but he wasn't even completing 60% of his passes yet. He had a passer rating of 85 in 2019. They make the playoffs, and then obviously after 2020, it's been the Josh Allen show. So I do think he can coach, and I think
he can coach. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, if you brought a different coach in there, it's not like they're going to get worse because they still have Josh Allen. Like, as long as you have Josh Allen, you're probably going to be like an AFC Championship game contender.
You think this Buffalo team with a different head coach would have been 12-5?
Were you asking me if they'd be better or worse?
Either.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, pick whatever you want to say. I don't know. They could be better. They could be worse. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna they're not going to miss the playoffs. They're not going to.
I think this Buffalo team is not nearly as talented as some of the others that have come up short, and they're still 12-5 in a division that got better this year with the Patriots there. So I don't know. I think he's a little underrated, to be perfectly honest. I think because Josh Allen is so great, it's just like, oh, it's all Josh Allen. There's some of the same thing that happens with Mahomes and Andy Reid. Like, guys, Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. He's great. So was his coach bad? No, his coach was Shula. Like, it's hard to do. And would Patrick Mahomes be the same quarterback with Andy Reid? Absolutely not. No chance.
I mean,
not that McDermott coaches Allen directly, but would Buffalo be as good without McDermott and Allen? The answer to that to me is probably it's pretty likely that it's no.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that they should fire him. I'm with you. And I think that he is a good coach in all the things. I'm just saying that, like, I'm thinking of Penn State, by the way, is the AFC Championship coach that got fired. Close, national semifinal coach that got fired, James Franklin. That's what I was thinking of. It'd be something like that. And that, if they got a different coach in there, I don't know how much better it'd get. I don't know how much worse it'd get. I feel like it would just kind of stay, a flat line of the players.
That's the challenge of the situation. I think there's at least a decent chance it's either one, right? There's at least a decent chance it does impact them negatively. There's at least a decent chance they could get somebody that puts them over the edge. I mean, I think it's possible. I think it's in the range of outcomes for sure. I don't think they should do it. I think they're going to be Denver, and we don't have to worry about it. But, it is what it is. Look at a guy like Zach Taylor and the Burrow years, what they have not been able to accomplish. And I know Burrow's had injuries in those years, but not all of them. And, I just don't want to put McDermott in that mold. McDermott's been one of the best coaches in football the last 10 years. And he's going to be on the hot seat, but we just saw Tomlin and Harbaugh get canned.
To say that's the only reason that he is on a quote unquote hot seat is because we're in a
No, he was on the hot seat last year. He's been on the hot seat. Buffalo wants to win a title. Tomlin did not get canned. Clarification. He walked away.
The reason why that there's the conversation of that is because we talk about it all the time. We're at the point now where it's if you're not winning a Super Bowl, you're not doing the right thing. And, there's a little bit of truth to that, but at the end of the day, getting to the AFC Championship is hard, and winning a Super Bowl takes a little bit of luck.
20, as the Chiefs know, 20 years of Harbaugh, 20 years of Tomlin is different than 10 years of McDermott. I will say that too. But Buffalo's also got a different kind of pressure and desperation on them. Rick asks about LaFleur in Green Bay. I would think LaFleur's on the hot seat, but apparently he's working on an extension. So, they've got to figure that out. I don't know if they're trying to get him to take like a discount or something. This usually isn't an issue. Coaches' compensation usually isn't a thing we worry too much about in the NFL. But that's a spot that's interesting.
It is.
Green Bay has been way more disappointing than
that's
Buffalo.
what I'm saying. Yeah, if
Or
you're going to say
Baltimore.
things about Sean McDermott, then I like Matt LaFleur a lot. I think the Packers, always find a way to be a really good team. But as I say this,
is good though.
I know. As I'm saying this is they have. I don't know when's the last time they made an NFC Championship game. We've seen the Bills in the AFC Championship game 5 times. It feels like.
It's been a minute. I know they've knocked the Cowboys out, but they have not reached. Let's just see here. Wild card, divisional are the losses. The year they beat the Cowboys, and you go back to divisional, but they had the bye. They were the 1 seed, so that wasn't a playoff win. They won a playoff game in 2020. They won a playoff game in 2019. They made the NFC Championship game in both of those seasons and got bumped, and that was when LaFleur was the hot commodity. He had Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers wins back-to-back MVPs. Then it kind of has unraveled a little bit. But they've never had a losing season. They did too. They were 8-9 in 2022. But the 13-3 Matt LaFleur 1-seeded Packers, they're just kind of limping in now. And you just went all in for Micah Parsons, which, by the way, you think the Cowboys regret that trade? But you just went in on Micah Parsons, and it's just kind of the same old thing. So I could see it. He'll get a job immediately, as he should.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see it. But I would, I think McDermott has a better case than LaFleur does.
You want to talk about a crazy coaching carousel? If those two guys got dropped into the mix,
they just switched places.
Everybody should, we should just make this a big wife swap and see who's. It's like musical chairs. Who's going to be jobless at the end of this?
I don't even
know. There's going to be so much retread. If those two happen and there's 11 vacancies, I would bet that 6 or 7
just shifting over
are filled by retreads.
Yeah, look, that's not unusual by the NFL either. But think about if Buffalo comes open, what kind of coach are you even looking for? You're not going to hire some offensive coach to come change what Josh Allen's been doing. Yeah. You've already got a defensive. I don't even know what you'd be looking for. What are you somebody that calls timeouts better? What are you looking for at that point?
I agree. It's some different face to make your fans.
Whereas
get off your
Green
back,
Bay, to me, Green Bay has felt like they've been deficient offensively when they shouldn't be. They've been drafting receivers early, like it's going out of style. They've got Jordan Love in his prime. They go get Josh Jacobs. Then they all of a sudden they look like they're going to have a good defense. They go get Micah Parsons. That's where the pressure should be. I think if there's a spot where it wasn't Baltimore, shouldn't have been Pittsburgh, wouldn't be Buffalo. Green Bay feels like the spot to me where you'd put that kind of pressure on. Who has had higher expectations the last 2 years, Green Bay or Pittsburgh?
Green Bay.
Of course. Yeah. And not only were they not as good as they should have been in the regular season, They didn't really do anything in the postseason either. You're in the middle of a Jordan Love prime here. Yeah. If Jordan Love's the guy, I don't know. I probably wouldn't make that change this year either. I'd probably go one more with LaFleur. I'd probably go at least one more with McDermott. I still can't believe Harbaugh and Tomlin are gone. Well, I guess Harbaugh's not gone anymore. He's to the Giants. That was the news overnight. The one we kind of all saw coming. Pittsburgh made you raise an eyebrow a little bit, like, oh, man, he could really stick it to him by going to the Steelers. That'd be awesome. But that would have been the wrong decision. The Giants was the right decision for John Harbaugh, at least in my opinion.
Are the Giants a destination?
I think so. I think they still are. Yeah. The Jets aren't, but I think the Giants still are. All right, we'll come back. We got Kevin Saul, Wichita State Athletic Director, joining us next on the program from Florida. We'll talk Shockers when we return.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
All right, welcome back into Sports Daily, everybody. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping us fueled up this morning here on KFH. I believe we should be connected right now with Wichita State Athletic Director Kevin Saul. Kevin, do you have us? All right. Max, if we could give Kevin a call there, we'll get that connected before the end of this break. TJ, the Shockers take on Florida Atlantic. Pretty good test tonight for Wichita State. And, you know, Wichita State, they feel like they're somewhere kind of right in the middle of what we've been talking about with KU and K-State, right? Is that fair? Does that make any sense?
I get exactly what you're saying. Because KU, we're riding a real high on KU right now. We're riding a real low on K-State. Wichita State has the chance that, obviously it's January, but heading into tonight, they have an opportunity one way or another to kind of make a statement, I feel like. They're 2-2 in American play. After they lose to Rice, it kind of feels like it's a gut punch. And Paul Mills is exactly right, though, that they've got, 15 conference games left. If they can get out of this road trip and make you feel good about that, then, they're kind of right back in where you want them to be.
I think so, too. But again, and there's no world where Wichita State can be a bubble team, I don't think. Right? I mean, I can't imagine what that would be. So with that in mind, you look at these, and Wichita State's got a higher Ken Palm ranking, I believe, than Florida Atlantic. Let me double check that. They're right next to each other this morning, 101 and 102.
Oh, really?
So it's a similar team, but it's a kind of team it's on the road. And I think Florida Atlantic, I'll double check this too. Last night, it was a 4.5 point line to Florida Atlantic. But Florida Atlantic is a pretty similar team to Wichita State. So this is the kind of game where, for me, I try to envision these as the tournament games that matter. This is the kind of team later in the tournament that they're going to have to be able to beat. And it's a good opportunity, as Kevin Saul joins us, Wichita State Athletic Director. Kevin, it's been an interesting year to evaluate. We were just talking about looking at it through the lens of Wichita State has to be able to beat every team in the league so that they can win a conference tournament to make an NCAA tournament. Florida Atlantic, to us, kind of feels like that kind of team. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on the show, guys. You doing well?
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. It's basketball season.
You might be doing better in Boca Raton than we are here in 20-degree Wichita.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a sacrifice of the job. So anyway, it's all good. We got here late last night. Did a little shoot around, scout video, team meal last night. You guys are right. It's a very similar team. Solid record. I think our strength of schedule is a little bit better. I looked at it late last night. If I'm recalling correctly, our net ranking's 96 and our Ken Palm sitting at 101 and Florida Atlantic's at 102 in the Ken Palm. So it is a game that it's an important road game. And and certainly looking forward to contest late tonight.
Kevin, we talked about the Rice loss last week. It kind of felt like a little bit of a gut punch as you looked at the conference race in the American, because it does feel like it's anybody's to go get this year, and that's a game that by the metrics seemed winnable for Wichita State, and that's why it hurt so much. But then you kind of get that sour taste out of your mouth with North Texas. I was just saying before you got on here, if they can find a way to leave the state of Florida this week with a couple of wins, I mean, you feel really good about where the Shockers should be in this race, correct?
Yeah, it's a huge weekend. You look at the standings. I think you've got 5 teams at 3-1 right now. You've got 2 at 3-2, and then you've got us and Tulsa at 2-2. So obviously, as the conference schedule progresses here, I think a couple of wins in the state of Florida will loom very large on the conference standings. So at the end of the day, we got to go 1-0 today, and that's what the team is focused on. And guys, you're sitting at 7 losses, and all 7 are 1 or 2 possession games. Nobody's into the moral victories. And Coach Mills and I had a lengthy discussion a week or so ago about just our progress and our direction. And you can think back through all 7 of those losses and the lessons that are learned. And certainly, as you mentioned, a Rice loss is a very disappointing loss for everybody that's involved in the program. And the guys learned that the physicality that's required to be successful in this league, because this league is just going to play right through you from a physical perspective. If you don't address that, then you're going to have challenges. And so that's the lesson that you take away from the Rice game. The importance of free throws in the DePaul game. You pull lessons from all of these games. And I will submit to you that while nobody desires to lose games, if you're learning lessons and you've addressed issues because of a loss, then ultimately you are getting better. You can look at our free throw percentages since the DePaul game, and I believe we're probably sitting somewhere in that 70 to 75% range. At the end of the day, you can watch college basketball on any given night. In fact, last night, you can see what happened in Baton Rouge, where LSU was up 18-20. They had a 16-point lead at half and gave that away. At the end of the day, the margins are very thin. And this is a very competitive team that's got the ability to come down here to the state of Florida and get a win tonight, and then focus on South Florida for Sunday.
Yeah, I think we're with you. I think that's kind of our sentiment as well. Are you playing better by March? Because winning that conference tournament feels like it's going to have to be the path for any team in this league this year. So how are they stacking up against these teams? And we are seeing improvement. And every time I ask anybody, and it's been we've missed you for a couple of times now, the one thing that appears, at least to us, is this team has stayed engaged through it all. They've had some tough losses, some tough luck losses, perhaps, but I've never got the sense that this wasn't a group that was down on themselves. They seem to roll with the punches pretty well.
Yeah, no, this is a good group. We've got good guys. That there's no concerns at all in terms of the culture in the locker room. We have a highly competitive group of guys. I was really, really intrigued, guys. There's a moment on game day that I think you can draw a lot of conclusions from, and those moments are when you go into the locker room at halftime, and the coaches are in the coaches' locker room, and you sit in the players' locker room and you listen to the dialogue that's going on in the locker room before there are any coaches present to address the halftime adjustments. And our guys are incredibly engaged. And I think there's credibility in the room for various players to speak into what is going on with the team at that particular moment and how to attack the opponent. And that's a real measure of engagement from my perspective. If you walk in the locker room at halftime when the coaches are game planning for the second half, the first few minutes, and it's very quiet, that's something to be worried about. But our guys are really engaged. That's not an issue at all.
Big one tonight, 8 o'clock tip out in Florida. It's going to be like a 9 o'clock tip out there. You're going to be up late tonight, Kevin Saul. Timely join to the show is yesterday we get some, national NCAA news. The transfer portal window is moving to after the national championship. That'll be the 15-day window after the final game of the season, which was what everybody was kind of clamoring for. This one felt like it was a very bipartisan to get done, Kevin.
Yeah, we got that one right. When you look at it from a common sense perspective, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have a transfer portal window open in the middle of the NCAA tournament. So shifting that to after the championship game makes a whole lot more sense for a number of different reasons. So again, I think that's one that we've got right. You may have noticed that the jersey patch legislation got pushed down the road a little bit. I think the Division I Council and the membership is very much in favor of doing it. It's simply a matter of trying to determine where, how many, and all those logistical conversations. And that will open up, a revenue stream for intercollegiate athletics programs that hasn't existed in the past. And certainly it's something that we're dialed into to determine if we can continue to enhance and invest in our men's basketball program through our jersey patches.
That's an interesting one we will watch. Just a couple of minutes here, Kevin. Want to give you a chance. You've got a letter from the AD out where you talk about the We Fight for Wichita Fund. In this, tell us about that. Give us a synopsis, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. So the We Fight for Wichita Fund is our roster resources fund. And as you guys know, and we got here, it's coming up on 4 years ago, guys. We got here in July of 22, and NIL was a year old, and Wichita State had a goose egg up on the scoreboard in terms of dollars raised for NIL, which really put us behind the 8 ball. And we raised our first NIL dollars January 6th of 23. That's a year and a half into the NIL era because we spent the first 6 months on infrastructure and education, engaging with our donors and all those pieces, setting up the infrastructure, whether that's the ability to pay student athletes through the mechanisms, all of those components, the collective. And, we've been on a race since then to try and right the ship in terms of the missed opportunities that first year. So second year was really year one for Wichita State. And we're doing our best to invest as much as we can to get us into a highly competitive position, not only within our league, guys, but obviously the effort is to compete nationally. And so we've got to look past the resources that are provided in our league and provide significant resources to get us into the second weekend of the NCAA basketball tournament. I think we're well on our way. That number's improved over 500% in the last couple of years. And we will continue to invest heavily in that because at the end of the day, when men's basketball, you guys know this, but when you look at our department financially, when men's basketball's got 8,000 or 9,000 season tickets in Charles Koch Arena, we can do some very, very nice things for all of our other sports programs. And so in that respect, men's basketball has got to be fed differently so that it can turn around and feed the rest of our 15 sports programs in a very unique way.
Kevin, I got one more for you. The House settlement. We've spoken at length about this of how it affects Wichita State and other programs around the conference, around the country. As we're now, I don't even 8 months into this thing now. How have you seen this kind of evolve? It feels like we're learning more things, at least from an outsider's perspective, as it has evolved over the last 8 months. How is it affecting Wichita State as of now?
Well, the House settlement obviously cleared the way for revenue share, guys. It settled the retroactive class action settlement on retroactive NIL, and it's done a few other things in terms of roster maximums and scholarships and those sort of things. How it impacts Wichita State, we've added 43 scholarships. That's significant for us, right? Adding 43 scholarships in our various sports program positions us in a very competitive spot in our league, particularly because we don't sponsor football. And so we have the ability to put some resources into men's and women's basketball, into our other sports programs, in that particular case in the form of scholarships that our peers are not. And then at the end of the day, I am confident that our roster resource numbers are very competitive within our league. We will continue to invest in those because we've got to continue to grow. But there's a lot of issues and challenges with the House settlement as well. I think as an industry, we're struggling with enforcement. We're struggling with the tampering components. We need some version of the SCORE Act to be passed to potentially slow down activity in the transfer portal. There's a component in the SCORE Act that calls for a one-time transfer, and I think that certainly would help the industry. I think it still gives young people plenty of opportunities to find the best place for them, but it gives us an opportunity to build programs with student athletes for multiple years.
Kevin, we appreciate it. 7:30 tonight, KYN is the pregame coverage of Shockers Florida Atlantic. We're looking forward to it. Safe travels home, and we'll talk again in a couple weeks.
All right, guys. Take care and go Shockers.
We'll be right back on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
And welcome in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Another hour here with us. Jacob Albrocht alongside TJ Cleveland. Max Power producing. He's got your KFH hotline at 869-1240. We've got video comments coming in, Facebook, YouTube, X, all available. You can reach out to us directly on social media. Thanks to those watching us on 12 News Connected on our live stream. Thanks to those listening to us on the Odyssey app as well. All kinds of different ways to get in touch with the program. Kevin Saul stopping by. If you missed anything there, that'll get podcasted out. We'll react to some of what he had to say in just a few minutes here as we get things set up. Tim Fitzgerald joins us. We'll talk K-State hoops. Jerome Tang, should he be on the hot seat? That's the hot topic. Not just today, but after a loss, it's getting hotter, perhaps. It's all coming up here for you. What's on Tap? Brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, celebrating America's 250th and WBC's 15th birthdays with $2.50 flagship pints on the 15th of every month. That's today. $2.50 flagship pints today at WBC East West Historic Delano. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here for 15 years.
Jacob, you messed up the read in the opening segment, and then you messed up the read again in this segment. You can't say 15-cent flagship.
15-cent flagship. 15-cent flagship. Is that what I said? Flagship, actually. We're treading lightly. This is kind of like the Bach conversation here. Yeah. I read you.
Who's writing these copies? Are they trying to get us?
Yeah, they're listening and just how can we put the tongue twisters in every day? Did you have to do those in college? The silly "How now, brown cows"? Do you have an announcing class?
I did not.
There at Newman?
I did not.
We did. It was fun. It was a really fun class. You go back and listen to my earliest. I don't know where I'd find a cassette player now, like an audio cassette, to find my very first air checks. And man, it's like somebody stuffed 14 cotton balls in my mouth and had like not the cool, like fun Texas accent, but like the real rednecky one.
Yeah.
That's not good at all. That's
what I said. Like you just sound like you got a chaw in even when you don't.
Yeah, it's just I listened back to that first one. I was like, okay, I got to do something about that. Trained it out.
It's so wild. It's so wild to me that Texas accents are a thing, and we live 4 hours away, and that's not a thing in Kansas.
Well,
but in Denton, there are people with accents like that.
My dad has a cool Texas accent. Yeah. He says things like guitar instead of guitar.
Guitar.
Right? And that's the way he talks, and it's awesome. And like, you know, we grew up, we raised cattle. Like people ask like, what's your dad? My dad's a cowboy. Like he really was. Like that's what we did growing up, and like they sound like it, and it was awesome and fun. And then I listened to myself, and I'm like, what happened to me? It's like I was in like a small man-made lake town or something. Like that doesn't sound cool at all. So I didn't get it. I didn't get the cool one. But a lot of people in my family do have it. and it's awesome.
You got the people down there, the 5 bowls of boiling oil. How Texans say that one?
Bowl.
5 bowls of boiling oil.
Bowl. Yeah, bowl. That's definitely one. I won't lose y'all. I love y'all, and I won't lose fixin' to. I love fixin' to.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm fixing to do something. Jesse on YouTube, as we were talking about John Harbaugh getting the nod, says he thought the Falcons' job looked like a great opening. Weak division, good talent. I don't disagree, Jesse. I think it's the Penix conundrum right now. They're in a quarterback situation. We haven't really seen Penix be good yet, but I do think Atlanta's the most ripe to be like the Jacksonville of this year, where it's like, that's a pretty talented roster. If somebody can just unlock a little bit at quarterback, you like Bijan, you like Drake London.
It doesn't even have to be that much at quarterback either. Like that's whenever we brought up the coaching carousel after Black Monday, I mean, that was mine. It was like, I mean, I think that they might have been the best job. I was like, I think that they're better than the Giants' job is, honestly. And it's still kind of like
Arizona the best. The problem with Arizona is the division they play in.
Yeah, and then obviously the Ravens and the Steelers come through and wreck all that noise. But I like Falcons' job a lot. I agree.
I do too. Bijan is young enough where it's okay to tether yourself to a lot of time it's like a great running back. What's the shelf life on that? If I'm a coach, right? It's to tether everything to be. Not everybody's Derrick Henry. Most of the time, you've got a contract and maybe a couple of more. I mean, a rookie contract and maybe one more of a running back. And what are we entering? Year 4 of Bijan next year, I believe. So
I think you're right.
Either way, you're getting to the point where, how many great years does he have? 3, 4? He could be an aberration like McCaffrey and Derrick Henry, where they're very good up until late 20s and stuff. But you never know. The most correct part of that comment is the division. I know the Panthers made it, but the Buccaneers kind of fell apart this year. Not really scared of the Panthers, are you? Like the Falcons have an opportunity just based on who else is there. New Orleans isn't close. That's where you build in a little cushion, perhaps out of the gates for that job. That'll be an interesting hire, and it's a good ownership group. Arthur Blank, I think, is one of the good owners in the NFL. But we can go back to that if you'd like. John Harbaugh, Giants had on the brain. We've got more on K-State, certainly. We will be digging into some of the post-game comments making the rounds. Excuses, TJ? Should we call them excuses?
I don't know if it's excuses, but I think it's maybe a little more honesty than we've seen. But it may be an excuse too.
Yeah, it seems like a blame. It seems like a blame shift attempt. We'll tell you what we're talking about on the other side. We'll also have Tim Fitzgerald in later for that as well. There's been a lot of let's go back to some of the things Kevin Saul said. You brought up the dates to the transfer portal. I thought he stated that perfectly. Like we got that one right. Yeah, that one was nonsense, right? Why is the portal opening before the season's over? We do the same thing in football, but at least they have the excuse of because kids have to make the transfer at semester instead of over the summer. I still think that's way jacked up. And if you would just shift this damn thing to end the season on New Year's Day, we wouldn't have a lot of these problems. On January 2nd, the portal opens. Kids in college still aren't in class yet. They won't be until next week. That gives you from the 2nd to the 19th, right? 2.5 weeks to get that figured out. It's plenty.
Yeah. I mean,
because it's that chaotic through the first 2.5 weeks of it anyway now.
It feels pretty doable. I think you got to get rid of week 0, first of all. I think that 2 buys is a little much for college football.
It's more than 2 buys. It's 3.5 weeks.
No. I'm talking in the regular season. If you play a week 0 game, you get 2 buys. And it's like, well, you're playing 5 less games in the NFL, and they get 1 bye. And I get that you're 19 years old and everything of that nature, but like it feels pretty avoidable. I think that if the bowl games become a question, I think that you move week 1 back to where week 0 was and just start it the week before the NFL gets going, which I 2 weeks before, I guess, probably most years, and get people juiced about football. You have solo windows, no NFL blocking your way except for preseason. get it going, and then that moves everything back. And then you're talking about, conference championship weekend is Thanksgiving, which would be awesome. And then you talk about rolling right into it, and then, it's playoff. You're talking about playoff games on Christmas, and then you roll into a national championship on New Year's Day. And it feels very doable. It's what Dan Lanning has been talking about. It's what Jacob has talked about, but I'm going to give more credit to Dan Lanning because I think he's smarter than Jacob is.
I don't care. Just get it done.
And it would fix and then the transfer portal issue becomes fixable, and the coaching carousel issue becomes fixable. They need to put a window of a coaching transfer portal, if you will, to say coaches can't be contacted until after January 1st. And if people reach out, maybe the biggest issue of all this stuff outside of the schedule, transfer portal, tampering, all that stuff, is they need to have somebody that enforces the rules. That's what Kevin talked about. And the rev share stuff is that there needs to be somebody to say, like, you guys spent $30 million. You can't do that. Like,
well, rev share is new enough where I think they can work through it, and I'll give them time on that. Indiana, TJ, went 27 days between the Big Ten championship and its first round game on New Year's Day.
Yeah,
I mean that is it for no reason. You move the season up, that's fine. But had they played on December 2nd or December 6th when they played, they could have been to a national championship game playing every week on January 3rd. If you want it to be on New Year's Day, I have no problem with that. So yes, to your point, figure out a way to deal with, move the season up into week 0. It is ridiculous, and it is a detriment to the sport. I don't guarantee things very often. I will guarantee you, if they did not take the time off between the games, you would see significant ratings jumps for the college football playoffs.
I think so.
Because all you're doing by waiting that long is letting all our attention go somewhere else, typically to the NFL.
And you're playing playoff games during the NFL playoffs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you got this thing done January 1st, like, they're still the regular. Like, you would get the Saturday window. Put the games on Saturdays. You can't put them on Saturdays in January either, because the NFL plays on Saturdays. That's why they do that.
I mean this sincerely. How much thought have you given to Oregon, Indiana national championship game?
I mean, not much.
Not much, right? And that happens every year because it takes too damn long to get there. Like, we're thinking NFL now. We've got an NFL coaching carousel. We've got, they just can't get out of their own way. All right, when we come back, let's take you back to Jerome Tang's post-game comments. We'll get you there next on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland here with you. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. If you want to call them, see what they're all about, take a tour. Give Todd a call. Tell them we sent you from Sports Daily. All kinds of great membership options, different kinds of memberships for whatever it is that you want to utilize that great facility for. 36 holes of golf, of course, indoor tennis, outdoor tennis, great pool. Great events, the clubhouse, all of it. It's fantastic. Give them a call. Go check it out and get the best deals of the year right now at Crestview Country Club. All right, we've got Tim Fitzgerald coming up in just a little bit here on the program. We are talking now K-State, and Max is gathering a little bit of last night's postgame audio that we'll let you hear once he gets that, the one making its round. But as a recap, TJ, we've got K-State losing last night to UCF 82-73. If you look at just the Big 12 standings, right now, the only team worse than K-State by overall record is Utah. They're also the only team in the Big 12 without a conference win. So if you look at that, you would see a 15th best team in the Big 12. If you go to Ken Palm, okay, sometimes records can be deceiving. You would have the 15th highest ranked Big 12 team. Bottom line, no matter what, doesn't matter. Kansas State basketball, absolutely unacceptable to be the 15th best team right now in the Big 12.
Yeah.
It can't happen.
Nope. You have a preseason all Big 12 first teamer on your team. You can't find a way to be one of the worst teams in the Big 12. And like right now as it stands, can they go to Utah and get a do they go to Utah and get a win? Before I say that, I don't even know. Can they go to Utah and go get a win? Can they beat Utah? I know they play them at home. I don't know the answer to that question. Let me look that up actually really quick.
They go to Oklahoma State on Saturday and then come back
They
home
host,
to play Utah.
They host Utah. Okay, they don't go on the road to Utah, so I take back my question. But and still, point stand, like I don't know where they go from here. Like they're in such a weird spot. And last night in the press conference, which we'll play in a second, I mean there was just multiple comments that makes you feel like it's like, you know, it's no longer the, you know, that's on me. We got to go 1-0. Like there's some honesty being thrown around, I think.
If it's honesty, it's a problem, I think. Because what's happening, I think, is we're feeling the pressure and some of the blame is shifting. And that happens. You know, coaches can't every time. I do want honesty. I want to know what the issue is. But I also want to know that players are being put in the best position to succeed. And here's the problem for me, because I want Jerome Tang to work. I love his personality. I love his energy. I love his philosophy on life. All of it. I do. Big fan. Big fan. What I can't figure out, though, is if that's your thing, if motivation is your thing, I'm built for this, is what he told us after Arizona State. Then coming into the next one and just saying the players aren't doing what they need to do, that's your thing, man. Like, that's the thing you're supposed to be awesome at.
Yeah.
Well, I can live with the X's and O's deficiencies, but what I can't live with is your players not being bought in, because that's your thing. Right? Like, we just can't, like,
I mean, that was to give a shred of context to this as well. You know, to be fair, he was talking about the fact that they came out. He talked about desperation a lot. That was like his big thing at the press conferences. He said that as a team that's 0-3 in Big 12 play, you got to come out and play desperate, and desperate teams get wins. And last night he said KState didn't come out and play desperate, and they were down by 16 in the first half, and they played desperate in the second half, but it was too late because they didn't come out desperate in the first half. And it was something about how do you fix that? And he said, I don't know. I hope they're pissed off. I hope that they come and try to figure out why they're not desperate. And I hope that they, you know, can go out and execute. At some point, it falls on their shoulders that they need to, you know, have a mentality shift, basically.
Sure it
is
does.
what he was saying.
This is the clip. This is what we're talking about. We'll let you listen right now to Jerome Tang after the game.
How are the guys handling 4 straight losses here? Just what's the mood like with the guys right now?
I don't know. I hope they're pissed off. I hope they're, you know, like sometimes, like when we went through the earlier in the year, like they came in and they were like, okay, coach, tell us what we need to do. You know, like you could tell they were very coachable at that time. Like they didn't think they had the answers. And hopefully with these 4 losses, they're going to come back in and say, okay, coach, we don't have the answers. You got to help us, because we're giving them what they need. They have to go out and they have to execute it. And at some point in time, it falls on their shoulders to do it. But I mean, we don't browbeat our guys. I mean, we love them up. They know they're loved. Now we got to be better at the business of basketball.
There you go.
So, you know, I again, the motivation part, the getting, like, that's your thing. Like, that's your job, Jerome Tang. Like, you cannot walk into that game last night at home against UCF. Can't be a more desperate situation and come out flat.
Yeah.
And if it's the wrong players, that also has to be a thing that's your problem, because that's not K-State does not have a resource issue in its basketball program. They're paying Jerome Tang a lot. He got a big extension, and they're paying players. You've landed some of the most coveted portal guys the last 2 years, Coleman Hawkins, and now, and now this year with PJ Haggerty. What are we supposed to like anchor down on with K-State basketball right now?
I mean, you think back to a lot of people right now are talking about the 2022 year because of Marquise Noel and Keontae Johnson and how good they were. And, as you look back in hindsight, like, I mean, they kind of openly said basically that like Jerome Tang is really good at motivating, basically. And
he motivated all of us.
And that's what he did. And like you watched him play, and you didn't really realize it until the year after, and the year after that is that like they don't run a lot of plays. Like there's a lot of kind of just going down and making stuff happen, and to like that's what he does, and that's fine. Like if that's what you're gonna do, like get the guys to do it, and if that's your drive, learn how to play pretty good defense and score as many points as you can. And to be fair, it worked against Mississippi State earlier this season. It looked like it was going to be a recipe for success.
I was bought into
exactly.
it.
And now as you're looking at this point, it's like, man, like now we're not motivated and we're not playing offense. Like that's the part that is so frustrating.
What is the best win of this season right now for K-State?
Creighton.
Okay, Creighton is the best win. Creighton is what you hang your hat on right now, and they're 53rd in the net. They hadn't beat anybody. We liked their strength of schedule, right, ahead of the season, but they lost to Mizzou, right? They beat Cal. Is Cal higher than Creighton right now? No, they're not. Okay, so it's not that one.
They didn't play Mizzou.
Well, they did an exhibition.
I guess that's true. Sorry.
Technically speaking. Mississippi State you beat. They're not very good this year. You lost to Nebraska. You lost to Indiana. You lost to Bowling Green. You lost to Seton Hall. Beat Mississippi Valley State and South Dakota, though. And ULM, I don't know where it is, man. I can't find it. I can't find it. You had like Haggerty is the player for trying to get back to what we saw in year one. That's him. Like he is that guy more than any other player that came out into the portal. Like K-State literally went and got the most coveted thing they could have gotten, which was PJ Haggerty. And it's their last 2 years have been a 9th place finish in the league, a 9th place finish in the league. Neither year has been above 500 in the Big 12. And boy, I kind of would be thrilled right now at a 9th place finish in the Big 12. Right? They're the 15th best team by any way you slice it.
I don't know.
Right
I don't know if
the
there's
Big
a
12.
way. Is there a way they can get to the 9th place? Like it's going to have to take like a 10-game winning streak.
Well, I mean, they've got 4 losses. 9th place the last 2 years was 8-10 and 9-11. So let's say it's 8-10. Are they?
I mean, I can look at the schedule and pick you out 6 losses pretty quickly.
Well, right. So you're 0-4. So are you going 8-6 the rest of the way in the Big 12? No, they're not going to do that. So
I mean, what's the saying that Quattraro said when he got hired by the Royals is what's there 162 games. He's like, you're going to win 40 and you're going to lose 40. And it's like, what do you do with the other 80 basically? And it's like at K-State, you look at the rest of the schedule. It's like, you're going to lose about 6 of these. It's like, are you going to win the rest? Like, I don't know.
It's too late. They're in the 70s in the net. I mean, I suppose if they go rattle off a bunch of quad ones somehow in there, but they're not like they're playing worse and worse. They're not like there's nothing for us to like last year. You had the win streak and you could kind of see it. I don't see anything coming right now. And now you've got a coach in a post game kind of shifting blame and saying, listen, we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing, and they're just not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Are you doing everything you're supposed to be doing?
This is the thing.
Because if that's the case, you're not good enough at your job, because what you're supposed to be doing is having these guys prepared to win these games.
This is the frustrating, maybe I don't know if frustrating is the word, but like typically when we see teams go through these stretches where it's like, even Wichita State, like 2 years ago, for example, is kind of a good one. Like they struggled and they had the losing streak that they had. And it was all like so kind of forced, it felt like, of saying like, we need this to happen. And then they won a couple of games because it was kind of like Paul Mills saying like, you know what, just go play. Like, just see what happens. And they upset somebody. And like, that's typically the course that this thing runs. Maybe not the best thing to do, but you can steal some wins whenever you tell the guys like, just go play basketball. That's what K-State does already. Like, are you going to do the inverse and say like, you know what, guys, let's put some sets in. Let's do that.
We're going to make harder cuts. Yeah. I don't
know.
Listen, I will also say this a million times. I am not a basketball brain. So, like, our buddy Taylor Eldridge could probably watch the film and tell you what they need to do better. I typically, if it's not pretty basic like that, I'm not going to pretend like I've got an answer to how K-State can run a better offense. I'm also, though, not being paid $3 million a year to do it.
I agree. And to give him the credit, they run things. It's just very like loose.
What's the wrong things?
No, they run things. It's just very loose. Like Bill Self runs very tight concepts where it's like, we're going to pass the ball 6 times. We're going to pass the ball 6 times, set 4 screens, and we're going to get a wide open layup. And he's great at it. And Paul Mills can really, he is. Paul Mills can steal some points every now and then. Like you can see them work in less this year than they have in the past. And to say that part, but like, they run things and like you see a little bit of, off ball cutting, and then they get a 3 and they shoot it. And like, that's what they do by design. But like at some point, like, do they need, and you don't think that they would with PJ Haggerty on their team, but they might. Like, I don't know what you do. And it's hard you can't do that on January 15th. Say, all right, let's hunker down.
I am such a fan of Jerome Tang. I am. Like, that's what makes this all suck so much. Like, I am a fan of Tang. I want it to work. I've fully rubber stamped and endorsed the extension that he signed, and going through all of that. I was definitely team Tang when there was a rift with the university president, all of it. That's what makes this harder, because it looked perfect. Like, it looked perfect. It looked like the perfect hire. And they got him. And man, he fits the vibe of the town and the fan base, and his very genuine positive energy and outlook on life. Like, all of it was so perfect. But now they can't win basketball games. And it sucks. His contract, he would be owed, if I'm reading it correctly, and we can ask Fitz about this, something about $16 million if it was before this offseason. So that's not going to happen, K-State fans. If after this offseason, but before 2030, when the contract ends, it cuts down almost to a third. It goes down to 6.5. So I think we'll have to. Well, I don't know the appetite on something like that. The problem is I don't see a turnaround enough of one this year to say, for K-State to say, that's what we needed to see. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they win a bunch of games in a row and we're like, okay. But I don't know that that's going to happen. We'll have to ask Fitz, like, does K-State have the appetite to buy out a $6.5 million contract? I don't know.
I mean,
they just paid Klein a bunch of money. Like,
they got a pay cut on Klein though. Like,
yeah, but you still have to move it around, and you have to hire a new staff, and you have to spend the resources to do that. Like, it's a lot of energy and money expended to make a coaching change.
I mean, to be fair, like, if they want to spin it, like, they have less money on the books on the football program right now than they had last year. Like,
well, yeah, I just what's really, like, we know that Wichita State has been challenged financially, right? Some of the things Kevin Saul just said it pretty plainly there, but Wichita State's been challenged financially, and they're getting better, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it on the roster and everything else. K-State's never been challenged financially. K-State's always been forefront. K-State should be competitive in the Big 12. They have been. They put the resources into it. They extended their coach. They bring in expensive rosters every season, and it ain't working. Like 9th, and 15th, 3 years in the Big 12. Like that's not gonna cut it.
And I think that's the part too. And to be fair, it sucked in the past, but like, man, now you're thinking about this like as somebody that donates to K-State's NIL fund, like, hey man, here's my hard-earned cash, and they do that. It's like, punch me in the stomach. Like,
well, it's just like I'll wait for the next guy is what it is, and all of it sucks. But 3 years in a row of not making the NCAA tournament for Kansas State basketball, it's not going to cut it.
I know
it's not going to cut. It's too good a program and too good a position to be successful. And so that's the elephant in the room right now. And now we're starting to see a rift. I can start to see a rift. Like you're starting to see Jerome Tank doesn't do that often. Like he's trying. Look, I get it. I hope they're pissed. That's just trying to motivate your players. Like, what else am I supposed to do? But if you're out of ideas, I'm pretty frightened by that. I am frightened that K-State is like finishes 13th or worse in the Big 12 this year. It's like,
I mean, we had the conversation about Chris Kleiman, just to have a callback here, back in September, about people calling for Kleiman's job. And I think that we openly said like it would take being like the worst team or maybe the second worst team in the Big 12 to get fired. And foreshadowing.
And that's what we're looking at after being the 9th best team 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Tim Fitzgerald about it next. I'm curious to get his take. I think he's a Tang guy too. We all are. We'll come back. We'll talk about it.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And we welcome you back in. GoPowerCat.com publisher Tim Fitzgerald joining us, our K-State Insider. Appreciate it. Fitz, all I want to do is talk to you about Sean Gleason's run game concepts at Princeton, or why we should be excited about defensive players coming over through the portal on a really bad Oklahoma State team, but we can't. Because K-State basketball can't remember how to win a basketball game. And now we've got coaches blaming players after the game. We've got the hottest of hot seats. Is K-State really the 15th best basketball team in the Big 12? Hey, Fitz, good morning.
Well, this week on the Big 12 Insiders, our Big 12 station or channel, I guess, on YouTube, our own Brian Hanley put K-State at 16th in their power rankings. And after what I saw last night, I think Utah could beat this team. And I don't really understand what's going on. How did this team actually regress from what it was earlier in this year? This is a bad team. And this team has some wins over some pretty good teams in the non-conference. I'm just completely baffled by what we're seeing.
It's weird, Fitz. The thing that I just brought up in the last segment is that, whenever teams, typically basketball teams, go through struggles, you'll kind of reevaluate. And it's like, maybe we're forcing too much. Maybe we should, be more, free flowing and just see what we can do. K-State is the most free flowing offense in the country. Like, I don't know what changes you can make in January 15th.
Yeah, you're right, because it's structural problems right now with this roster. They're just not big enough and strong enough across the front line and have enough dudes that can get it done. They're just kind of shorthanded up there, and it's beginning to really show up in rebounds, and they're just getting beaten to death on the inside. And it's a shame, because early in the year it looked like this was going to be a really explosive team, and they just aren't anymore. Now they're missing a lot of shots.
I think, I don't want to speak for you, I think you're generally speaking a Jerome Tang fan. We both are. Love his energy, love his outlook on life, love all of it. But the bottom line is ninth place, and whatever the finish this year in the Big 12, I mean, is not good enough. K-State does not have a resource problem for the basketball program. They've gone and got some of the most coveted players in the portal each of the last 2 seasons, and it's not translating. So what happens here?
Well, and the biggest obstacle is a buyout in place that is challenging in any year, but now with the ramping up of funding for football to try to get them, back on track, there's just no money to buy out Jerome Tang. So unless someone steps forward and says, "Here's double-digit $1 million to make a change," nothing's happening. They can't afford to buy him out, and that's the sad reality. He had one brilliant season, was pursued by other schools, got a brand new contract, and now he's just going to live off that and continue to not be removed from coaching. And you're right about this. He's one of the most exceedingly nice guys you'll ever meet. He's very likable. I always crack up when Iowa State fans decide he's a bad guy because he's not a bad guy. It turns out he's just not a great basketball coach.
It's very interesting, and you bring up a good point. We talked about the 2022, 2023 season. He was a Naismith Coach of the Year. Like, he was the national coach of the year. They went to the Elite Eight, and we're only 3 years removed from that. I mean, is that possible to do that again? Or is it just such a flash? I mean, is that Coach Tang still somewhere? Or is that recruiter of guys in there still somewhere?
It's fascinating, TJ. I mean, you look at this roster and it's got talent. You just kind of now wonder about how good were Marquise Noel and Keontae Johnson together.
I thought about that last night a lot.
Yeah, I mean, but you go back and look at that lineup. You had Desi Sills in there, just an absolute bulldog, and Naquan Tomlin, and you just had a lot of talent out there.
It was largely an inherited lineup.
Oh, those are all new guys. He got 10 players here.
Yeah, his only real holdover of substance was Marquise Noel.
Sorry, that's not Tomlin. Well, yeah.
And
he was their best player
with him. Yeah, I mean, he did miracles with him because he was not a very good player under Bruce Weber, and Jerome Tang figured out the buttons to push and turned him loose and ended up with one of the incredible seasons in K-State basketball history. So I don't know if they caught lightning in a bottle in year one or something else changed, but this is painful to watch this team just devolve before our very eyes.
Fitz, I think the fact of the matter is that we were in on them earlier this year, and the Creighton win was less than a month, or I guess a month ago now. Thinking about that, I think the thing that's doing them in more so than this team is that this might be the best Big 12 that we've ever seen. This is the craziest year that I can remember. When you're even talking about Kansas basketball, we brought up a point the other day. If you put Frank Mason's team in this Big 12, are they going to win the Big 12? I don't know if they would.
That's a great point. This conference is loaded, and I've never seen anything quite like it. I hear the experts say the SEC was better last year, and I'm like, no. You got to get over that thing, ESPN. Even a year later, they're trying to say somehow the SEC is better than everyone, which is annoying as hell because you look at the top and you go, yeah, Arizona's amazing. Okay, yeah, Iowa State, pretty darn good. And BYU and Iowa State and Texas Tech, and it's incredible. And you don't mention the word Kansas, who had a huge win the other night, but that's how good the conference is. You don't even get to Kansas before you're impressed how good they are.
And Kansas could win a national championship. I mean, that's totally. Yeah. Any of those top 6 teams could, I think, at this point, based on what we've seen. So what happens, do you think, then, Fitz? What is if the buyouts are insane? I would love to just sit here and say it's going to be fine, it's going to be better, because I'm a Tang fan. I want it to work. I just don't know what we're supposed to base that on now.
And I don't know how it does work after this. the donors have been incredibly patient and loyal and given him a lot of resources to succeed, and that has not worked out. I'll be very interested to see how much longer those alumni donors want to keep persisting. Um, all of us had a lot of faith in him. We thought he was the real deal, and as I said, he's an immensely likable guy. He's got a good heart, but boy, I don't understand what I'm seeing. This is as poorly a coached team as I've seen in the Big 12, and that says a lot.
Well, that was a fun conversation to have. Colin Klein's getting a lot of transfers this week. We'll switch gears here. Wendell Gregory is a big one. Then they get another one yesterday on the other side of the defensive line. They get a running back from Oregon. They just scored a touchdown in the Peach Bowl. It's a pretty big week for the transfer portal.
Yeah, and they picked up an offensive lineman. I tell you what, they have. I look at the transfer portal rankings, and I'm like, how much do these matter when you're actually looking at the roster and what they needed? Because they're beginning to get that. They're beginning to build that up. So we'll, this is another thing you won't really know until you go play some games. But they seem to be getting a lot done in the transfer portal and doing it with a budget that isn't much different than last season, at least for now. Maybe a little bit higher, as it has to go up every year, basically. So yeah, I'm happy we got football to talk about. Let's put it that way.
Well, let's compare it then on the outgoing versus the incoming. Would you say better, worse? Like how do they compare to each other based on what they've lost into the portal and what they brought in through the portal?
This is the challenge of the transfer portal is you're always more familiar with what's outgoing than incoming. And that's hard for me to say. They've picked up 2 edge rushers. Are they going to be, as good as Toby Usansami and Chidi Obiazar? Yeah, on paper they look that way, but you just don't know for sure. They seem to be answering some questions, but it's not just a matter of being as good as. You got to be improved from last year for a team that went 6-6.
That's the thing is that we joke about with the transfer portal is that we get all these guys in here and you see all these names coming in. It's like, oh my gosh, the Cats got Jay Harris. They got Wendell Gregory. They got Chase Duarte. Like nobody watched a second any of these guys play. Like nobody's got the film pulled up. It's just whenever your team gets a player, it's like, oh, that guy's good. But it kind of does though, as you kind of get more context. Like K-State had some pretty big holes. And it feels like they're filling a lot of them. Like there's still some left, but this is one of the most impactful transfer classes that I can remember for K-State.
Yeah, I agree. And, probably Gregory might have been the largest financial signing K-State football has made out of the portal. I'm not sure. But also you got to remember this, with Jace Brown and Dylan Edwards both departing, that opened up a lot of money. And I think they've been able to spread it out a little bit. They did lose a lot of players, but those guys were carrying a lot of the NIL money too. So we'll see how this team comes together for Colin Klein in the first year. I know this. I like what he did with hiring his coaching staff.
You like Gleason? You think Gleason's the right fit?
I think now that I've studied him a little bit, I think he and Colin are on the same page offensively as are other guys on the offensive side of the ball. It sounds like everyone's in favor of a shotgun power running attack. Which seems to fit what Colin Klein was as a quarterback. So, let's see what this team's got.
With Avery mixed in there as well, right? Running as a part of that offense.
Yep. It should be very interesting.
We're 6 months away from Big 12 Media Days, Fitz. Just get the countdown going.
Can I stop talking about basketball and after let's say a couple more
maybe
months?
We'll start talking about the Batcats. What do they got going on?
Hey, they've had a couple good years here.
Oh, brother.
Zachary on YouTube, or Zachary and Megan on YouTube, says he's hoping we'll eat these words. I would say this to you. I hope we do too.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing that I always tell people, like on this show, like we're not throwing hot takes out that K-State's going to be terrible. We're telling you that K-State looks really bad right now.
And have not lived up to expectations now for 2.5 years. So again, I'm a Tang fan. I was in favor of the suspension. I said this earlier, Fitz. I was team Tang when it was a Tang versus the university president, seemingly. I was very much on board with bringing in PJ Haggard. Like, I've been, but it's not working. And I hate that it's not, because I am a fan of the person, but it's not. And I hope we eat those words too. I hope I hope they turn it around, and this is awesome. We're just not seeing it.
I agree with that. I agree.
Go powercat.com, find all the latest, all of it. It's a busy time. You've got the sky is falling in one program and just movement every day in the other. Fitz, we appreciate it. We'll talk again next week.
Thank you, my friends.
All right, we're coming right back. Don't go away.